Episode number 1.
Test episode number 1.
I like that. That was a little. That was like a Colin S. That was nice.
So, hey, welcome everybody. This is the first test episode of Max and Howard Drink Beer. It's gonna go very shortly here because my beer is almost empty. So you're gonna be hearing a lot of that. You're gonna be hearing a lot of drinking. I am Max. We are hanging out in my basement doing this.
And I'm Howard.
I do believe. Are you gonna do the joke?
What joke?
My name's Howard, but most people call me Howard.
You have no idea how often I do that joke too. even at other people's houses. It's just. It's almost instinctive. That's the word. It's instinctive to say that nowadays. And the craziest part is nobody gets it.
Well, that was the same thing. Like when we go places and you tell people like, you know, they'd say, "Hey, how are you doing?" "I'm fine." "How are you?"
Yeah.
And they'd all just look like, "Oh my God, you're asking about me?" When really you're just quoting Star Wars.
Yeah.
I was actually watching the other night a episode of Phineas and Ferb.
Oh yeah.
The Star Wars one.
Oh, you were telling me, yeah.
And they had that whole scene in there. Like they kept popping scenes in from the normal movie, but they were like making Phineas and Ferb references to it, and it was just fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, the show is ridiculous. I don't know why I love watching it, but it is a cartoon that is self-aware that it's a cartoon. And you know how I am. If you're self-aware, I'm gonna probably hang out with you. So.
Right.
So what do you think here, Howard?
It sounded pretty good already. I like the little lines on the TV. That's kind of fun.
I gotta get you more level in here so that it doesn't sound like, you know, I'm super loud and you're super quiet. Even though I can fix it later.
Yeah, because I'm super loud and you're super quiet.
Right.
Yeah.
Not to be confused for anybody. So. Yeah.
You know, I've been wearing my hearing aid lately. I wore it that one day, which is more than I've worn it in a long time, and I just keep forgetting that I'm supposed to wear a hearing aid.
It makes sense.
Me feel handicapped, so I don't wear one.
That's a terrible joke.
Oh, yeah. Nobody gets that one either.
That's almost as good as the classic Boxhorn one. Howard, you got a haircut.
No. I got them all cut.
So,
no, I think I was saying for a little bit, which head?
Oh, man. That place definitely ruined us a little bit.
Yeah, no, then we ruined it.
Well, clearly.
No.
Clearly with all the things that have been going on, but we're not going to talk about that. So
No.
As we're rolling here, why don't we just continue rolling here? We're going to talk favorite beers today.
We're going to talk favorite beers. Okay.
Favorite beers. So neither of us are drinking our favorite beers.
No, we're drinking the swill we found off of the Woodman's discount cart.
Yeah, I'm actually not even drinking a beer. I am drinking a classic hard sparkling water. If you like Coors Light, then this is the sparkling water for you.
Well, yeah, and it's gluten-free, and it's, devoid of all fun and, all that, too.
There is cold fermented corn sugar.
Cold fermented corn sugar.
That just makes it sound delicious. I want to drink so much more of it now.
Isn't that...
Sugar?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's okay. I'm fat for a reason. We're from Wisconsin. Right. If I don't support the beer gut, I mean, am I really from Wisconsin?
No, I'm drinking it's October somewhere. I'm drinking an Oktoberfest. It's a Warsteiner. And like I said, it's just the swill sitting on the Woodman's discount cart. And that's the only stuff that I buy alcohol-wise. But that's all going to change. Because this is a big deal, guys. We've been talking about doing this since we were just wee lads. You know, we wanted to do this for so long, and the cards just never aligned, or is that the cliche? I think I mixed my metaphors.
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Something about you stand on a tree in a field and lightning strikes twice or something. I don't know.
You can't set a porcupine on fire and expect to make licorice.
That was a good one. Well played, sir.
Thank you.
Well
I'll be
played.
here all week.
All right, so favorite beers, Howard. Let's start with you.
You know, I think my favorite beer of all time. Well, that's actually kind of a toss up. I'd say my favorite beer of all time is a local beer out of Public Brewery. It's Kenosha beer. It's Bits and Pieces.
I knew that was coming. I knew it was coming.
I actually had one. What was that, Sunday? I had one Sunday. Oh man, you know, it's not as good from a can, but it's super great on draft, and it's like drinking Mountain Dew, and it's dangerous. It's a very dangerous
It's like
beer.
drinking Mountain Dew. It's dangerous.
And that's going to be a good podcast story for, you know, the future. That's not the test podcast, you know, because that was a wild night. We passed that last night. I'm like, guys, let's stop. We got to stop at McAuliffe's Pub. We can't stop at the pub. What are you talking about? You drunk? You're drunk.
Just because I'm trying to drink a beer right now while at work doesn't make me a drunk.
It's our Friday. We're not going to stop. They're going to be mad if we stop at the local tavern. I mean,
Right.
What's the problem? Come on. Ridiculous.
There's a lot of problems. First of all, we're not drinking while at work. And second
Well,
of all,
not that they know.
we're not drinking while we're at work. So
Oh, that's you?
I don't. I
Yeah.
work. I work from home. So
It's not illegal if you don't get caught.
truer words have been said.
That's true. Truer words have been said.
All right, so you're telling this story like a toss up here. What's the other one?
What other one?
You said there's
Oh,
a toss
yeah.
up here. Come on.
The toss up is, and this is a crazy one. If you're a Wisconsin guy, this should blow your mind. The other favorite beer of mine is out of Indiana. It's a 30 Floyd's beer, you know, called Zombie Dust. And Zombie Dust is such a crazy beer because it's so bitter and in your face. It's just got this huge. It takes a bite right out of you. I think that might be why they call it Zombie Dust, but I'm not sure. We'll have to talk to them.
Yeah, right.
You know, but it's such a bitter tasting brew, and it's just it's like eating a sour, you know, really sour bitter candy. You know, I like it a lot, and I think a lot of what Three Floyds does is really good. So
Understandable.
Yeah.
I don't agree with you. I'm not a big fan of the sour beers.
right,
But
Right.
that's just me. You know, I have lazy taste buds, as you say.
lazy taste buds. I've never said that.
Well, you literally just said it. I heard you say it.
I've never said you had lazy taste buds, but I did repeat lazy
Oh,
taste
okay.
buds.
So there's a parrot in here.
Yeah.
If I click that button, there's also an echo in here.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, for you.
No, not for me. For you.
Oh.
There's no echo for me. I turned that off.
Oh, okay.
I solved that problem.
Gotcha.
So those are your two.
Those are mine too for right now. I am kind of curious to see because you typically drink just any old swill you can get your hands on.
Yeah, for the
from what
most
I've
part.
noticed.
For the most part, I mean, you know, anything I can get my hands on is if it's beer.
If it's
I'm not-
cold and wet, that's the
Yeah.
way you like it.
Yeah, right. So as you see here, I got my practice can from the first day of planning here. My favorite beer, hands down, is Heineken. You know, I grew up with it. It was one of my dad's beers.
Been drinking it since you were 8.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, I will definitely argue with you that it's best on tap.
Right. As most things are.
The cans are really good, though.
Mm-hmm.
They're not too far from the tap. The bottles are hit or miss. As you know, the green bottles, if you mishandle the beer, can get really bad. But, you know, like, look at this. This is what I love about this. When you turn this can over and you look at it, it's hops and barley and water.
Yeah. Simple.
Why do you want to complicate it?
Absolutely. Simple.
Everybody is trying to complicate this process, and all it is just that. It's a beer.
Well, and I think it's kind of fun to complicate the process, you know. And some people, you know, it's just these people like what they like, you know.
It's very true. I mean, as Morgan says, I'm no beerologist,
right.
but I do like to drink it.
Right.
We actually do know a few people who are brewmasters.
Yeah.
We have a couple of friends who are in the sales area.
Yep.
So maybe if we're lucky, we will rope one or two of them into hanging out with us.
Absolutely excited about that, and then they might even bring some in their finely brewed brews.
You know, there's
Finely
big,
brewed brews.
there's bigger plans for this.
Yes.
We're gonna do different theme days. You know, maybe maybe a build your own six pack. You know, we happen to be lucky from Wisconsin where you can go to any store and you can literally buy 6 different beers to build your own six pack.
Yeah.
You know?
Hopefully they're not, ransacked and, the toilet paper.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's the toilet paper because you can't drink toilet paper.
No, it's hard. Well, I guess you could. You gotta mix it with some hops and some barley.
Well, right.
All right.
I mean, you could literally do it without the toilet
Hops,
paper.
barley, water, toilet paper. It gets a little hazy with the toilet paper.
I don't think that's how you make a hazy beer. Like I said.
No, but that's how we're gonna make one.
Like
I
I
think
said-
that's a good idea.
What, brewing?
No, making the toilet paper beer.
Oh my god.
I think that's a good idea. We can bottle that. And you don't drink it, but you have it because you're a fan of the podcast, and you put it on your mantle, and everybody goes, "Hey, what's that? You want to try some?"
You remember in 2020 when there was a shortage of toilet paper?
Right.
Well, now you do now with a, limited edition beer for your mantle.
Yeah. I like that. The more I think about that, the more I like that.
The crazy marketing mind that you have.
No, yeah, just crazy.
Just crazy.
Yeah, just crazy.
You're gonna go full on Kiss, anything and everything.
Pretty much. That's what I'm thinking.
That is that.
That's what I'm thinking. So that's that Heineken, and you actually have a really good story. You went to Germany.
I did.
Or Europe, I think. Europe.
I did. I was in high school. I went to Germany, Austria for a school trip with our choir. My voice is terrible.
Yeah.
But they thought I was pretty good, so I got to go with. And the teacher and her husband, well, her husband was pretty heavily German. I don't know where she fit on the scale, but I mean, his German was excellent. He actually starred in a low-budget movie.
Yeah.
Being a German soldier. And I do believe he was a Marine.
He was a Marine.
If I remember right.
Captain Novias was a Marine, yes.
So we went...
He taught German at Central.
Did he actually?
Yes, he did.
See, I didn't know. I was at Union Grove where his wife was the choir teacher. So that's how we knew who he was. But we went over to Germany, and I was 18. And they explicitly told us over and over again that just because you're in Europe and the legal drinking age is 18 means you can't drink. You're on a school trip, so the rules don't apply. That rule doesn't apply.
Really?
So even though we were old enough, they kept telling us, nope, you can't have anything to drink because our legal age was 21.
That's wild. I didn't know that.
So there were 3 of us that were over the age of 18 at this point on the trip.
Right.
And one night we did our final bed check and everything, and we're just sitting in our room, and somebody's knocking at the door, and it's like, oh great, what is this now? Somebody's playing pranks, or somebody's trying to sneak into somebody else's room, kind of thing. It's high school, all that fun stuff.
Right.
And we open the door, and it's Captain. He says, "Come on, let's go." What do you mean? Come on, let's go. So I said, "Come on, Max, let's go. We've got things to do. We got to do this quickly." So he takes myself and the other ones that are old enough to the local tavern. And the cool thing about the local taverns there is they don't have, this is their beer of their town. So I couldn't even tell you what I had.
Oh, really? I thought you had Heineken.
But each town, well, they had Heineken because that was the big thing. But each town has their own. This is our beer.
Wow.
So whereas we have Miller Lite anywhere in the state you could find it.
Right.
If we were if we went to Muskego, they'd have a different beer.
Wow.
So I mean you'd have your big name ones, which I got the option to have a Heineken, which I did.
Yeah, right.
But I had 2 beers, but we walk in there and here's all these locals sitting there, and I mean they look all grizzly and German bar, exactly what you would expect a German bar to look like out of a movie.
Sure.
And they just said, we show them our passports because that's what we have for IDs.
Right.
And they first asked okay, we're American, great, and said, well, how old are you guys? 18. He goes, oh, you're babies. We don't have anything for you here as babies, American babies. Let me see some ID. So when we pull out the passport, on it says Wisconsin. He goes, "Oh, Wisconsin. Okay, here you go. No problem." So just because of where we were now cool enough to
That's
drink.
awesome.
So had we been from any other state, it
Right.
would have just been
Yeah.
nope, sorry, we don't have anything light enough for you to
Well,
handle.
you would have had to go to the German B-dubs or something like that. Right.
So it came down to it. I had 2 beers there, but they were in the giant steins. And as a
awesome.
because that's what beer is served in, and
You got wasted.
pretty much
That's awesome.
for 18 years old. It was just like, but yeah, one of the 2 beers they had whatever their local lager was, and I couldn't even tell you because I don't remember the name of the town we were in.
Do you remember what it tasted like?
I couldn't tell you. I wasn't too big into drinking.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm sure it was just a German lager.
Sure.
Because what's the basics of a beer? The basic beer is the lager.
Right.
So that's what it was. But it was a cool part to see because, as everybody kept saying, you can't go to Germany and not have a beer.
Right. Especially when you're right there, like 18. You gotta have one. That's cool, man. He was a cool guy.
It was.
He was my forensics teacher. Really put the fear of God into me about a lot of things. Really, one of those guys that are just completely straight up and straightforward.
Yeah,
And
yep.
That's kind of the way I try to live my whole life. No bullshit.
I remember one other Captain Novias story from Inquire, and it involves our good buddy Dustin.
Oh man.
So in chamber choir, which is what we were in, which was the higher up choir,
Sure.
we were required to wear tuxes for all of our concerts.
Okay.
So we would walk through, and for anybody who's never met my buddy Dustin, Dustin isn't on time for anything, ever. We tell him usually an hour before the time that actually, and I know Dustin, when you hear this, you'll laugh your ass off because you know it's true that we lied to you about what time we're going to start things so that you do show up close to on time. So we're sitting there and we're in the hallway and the other choir's singing and, we took nothing seriously. I mean, when we sang songs in other languages, we just changed all the words so that it was funny. I mean, I can tell you a little Latin, on tutti bus. I don't remember what it is, but that was the little part of the song was Angeli cheese un tutibus.
Yeah. What can I say in Latin? Feliz Navidad. I think that's right.
So we did that, and then, he kind of appreciated the fact that, we had some fun with it. He didn't like it, like, okay, now it's crunch time to be serious. But anyway, so we're in the hallway, and we're all supposed to be warming up. And I mean, we're just running amok through the hallways. It's all closed off. The school's closed, and we're just doing whatever. And Dustin comes running in, pants barely buttoning his pants, trying to tuck his shirt in, pulls his jacket on, and we had cummerbunds. So his cummerbund was right here on his diaphragm area.
Oh, that's a good spot for it.
And it's supposed to be like right there at the your waist by the edge of your pants. So he sits there and he's just like, all right, I'm ready. And Novias comes up to him and goes, Dustin, come on. It's a cummerbund, not a bra. Pull it down. And I mean, I don't think we did anything. The joke was constant. Like, she would stop during the concert and do that, and you'd just see him as he was singing. The thing, I don't know what he did, but it would just slowly creep up. And you could see Novias just being like, and Dustin would just, push it down and all that fun stuff. So it was definitely a fun moment.
Yeah, he was a good guy.
Oh man, speaking of other people we're gonna rope into this. Snapchat from Colin McCormick. So there's a little bit of that. We're gonna rope Colin in. He's gonna be our unofficial producer, try to keep us on track.
Is that Caitlyn Jenner?
I have no clue.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, the one that looks like Colin.
Yeah, the one on the right. Because she's a little whiter than he is.
So we're gonna rope Colin in. He's gonna be our unofficial producer.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
To keep us on track because
we're already way off track.
I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
We didn't even have a track going into this. This is just to make sure what's what. I don't even know if this will hit the boob
Oh,
tube.
oh, it's gonna happen.
Okay.
It's gonna happen. Like I said, you know how we prepare for things. Not at all.
That's right.
It's the best way to live life.
That's right. And man, I can't tell you how many different jobs I've already been in where it's just the same thing that we used to do. We used to prepare for everything, be ready for anything, and just everything that could possibly go wrong goes wrong. It's wild. That's every single job. I can't even believe it. We were more prepared not knowing what the fuck was going on than we are in any other job. I'm sure that'll be the same thing for you starting Monday. That's exciting.
Yep. That should be fun. New job. I don't know why the guy who's hiring me is so excited, but he seems pretty pumped. So I'm gonna go and revolutionize the maintenance game, I guess.
Ooh.
I don't even know if I could do that. I have no clue what exactly the job's gonna do. But what's the fist pump? You got money?
Phone interview to discuss opportunity. Woohoo!
Nice.
That's exciting. Very exciting. I'm excited.
So what do you think, Howard? We've been at this for a little bit here. Should we wrap it up and move on? I mean, my beer's empty and my headphones don't go to the cooler, so.
Yeah, well, how do you want to wrap something like this up?
Let's go. Thanks for listening, everybody. This is, once again, Max and Howard Drink Beer. I am Max.
And I am Howard.